You don't arrive in the East. You remember it. Because here, the land holds memory. And memory walks with you. Each breeze carries incense and birdsong. Each stone path was shaped by hands you'll never meet. But still, you feel known. There is no rush. The mountains do not hurry. The rivers do not speak. Yet you understand them. In the hush of dawn, a bell tolls once. Not to wake you, but to remind you, you were never really asleep. This isn't tourism. It's return. Return to something older than yourself. Older than roads. Older than names. You've come to travel the East. But the East has always known you. You do not arrive in Japan. You are received. The mountains watch quietly. The streets do not shout. Here, silence is not absence. It is invitation. Even the rooftops seem to remember. And the wind does not pass by. It bows. These are Japan's terraced fields, carved into mountainsides for rice and tea. Each curve follows the land's breath. 1,000 years of farmers, shaping slopes into soft rhythm. Here, agriculture is more than labor. It's land, written like poetry. In Nagasaki, the water remembers. Once a port of exchange, now a mirror for light. Every year, thousands of lanterns rise. Their glow not just celebration, but remembrance of travelers, of traditions carried across oceans. This isn't just a festival, it's a reflection. You don't arrive in Korea. You cross into it as wind crosses the sea. Not with ceremony, but with quiet certainty. Cities rise, lights move, and you feel it. The rhythm has changed, but the silence remains. In winter, Korea becomes a painting, not of color but of pause. Between the river and the hills, Korea walks slowly, not to arrive, but to stay. And in the end, a river, flowing between steel and silence, not rushing, not resisting, just continuing, like memory, like Korea. You don't arrive in China. You descend into it like dust into stone. Here, even silence has a surname. Every wall once had an emperor's breath behind it. The river doesn't move forward. It remembers. Each bend a page still being read. Even the shadows here are carved. Even stillness is scripted in prayer. You don't walk through China. You walk through echoes. And even when you leave, it doesn't. You don't enter Afghanistan, you stumble upon it, like a voice left mid-sentence. It doesn't unfold to impress you. It stands there, already spoken, a silence older than sound. Some rivers do not flow to reach the sea. They carve, just to survive. The earth here remembers how to break and how to bloom anyway. In this valley, every furrow is a scar, and every scar grows green. is a land built not from stone, but from silence that stayed too long. A place where the sky leans low and even shadows seem tired. You don't walk into Afghanistan. You walk into what was left behind. You don't cross the Pamir, you endure it, like a thought that refuses to end. This is not a desert of heat, but of height. Here, the earth thins, the sky presses closer, and silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of altitude. Bones lie like punctuation marks in the dust. A grammar of survival, dry, clear, absolute. Wind here doesn't howl, it watches. The sun casts no warmth, only light, and the long shadows of memory. Vietnam doesn't begin at the border. It begins in the breath, mist wrapped and warm, that meets you before land does. It rains here without apology, and nothing hides from it. The leaves, the faces, the ruins, all glisten. This is not the India seen on postcards. No spice markets, no festivals, just the hush of snow in Himachal, a stream pushing through frost, quiet, steady, unwatched. Even here, where silence gathers, India moves. In Kerala, rivers don't trickle, they plunge. Off cliffs, into canyons wrapped in wild. A Thirupilli doesn't ask for attention, it takes it. Mist rises through forest, where hornbills nest, and the earth never quite dries. Singapore is where precision meets life. A sunbird lands softly on a yellow blue, as delicate as the skyline it watches. This city doesn't push nature aside, it weaves it in. Super trees rise like sculptures that breathe. Gardens float above glass towers, and every corner listens to light, to rain, to silence. At the bay, the Merlion watches, part lion, part memory. Here, design isn't just beautiful, it's alive. They move like breath beneath the skin of the sea, A silent current carries them, each pulse part of something far older. Light sifts through water, like whispers from above. In this realm, time doesn't pass, it drifts. Every shimmer, every turn, echoes life, woven endlessly into the deep. Come to Sri Lanka, where waves roll in like slow breath, and a lone snail moves across untouched sand. Palm trees stand still in the salt-lit air, as if holding the hush of the morning. A red train glides through hills wrapped in green, carving quiet paths through tea gardens and forest shade. Here, time softens, edges blur. From misty peaks to the edge of coral blue waters, the island moves by its own rhythm, unhurried and full of memory. In these highlands, tea doesn't grow, it rises, in rows that ripple like green waves across the hills of Ella and Haputale. Mornings begin with hands that pluck not just leaves, but light, dew, and memory. In quiet rooms of steam and motion, the leaves are withered, rolled, fermented, and dried, as though the hills are whispering their warmth into every cup. Here, tea is not made, it is become, through ritual, through rhythm, through the soft clatter of baskets and the hum of old machines, until finally a pour, a pause, and the breath of a mountain held in a cup. At the edge of the map, where roads vanish into rock and water, Kamchatka begins. Cliffs rise like the bones of forgotten giants, and the sea does not glitter. It watches, cold, vast. Primeval, seals crowd the black stone, volcanoes breathe behind veils of mist. This is not the end of the world, but its raw beginning. There are no cities here, only tides and teeth, only wind and memory etched in stone and passed between creatures that do not name the land. They survive it. Kamchatka does not welcome, it allows, and then it disappears into fog. As the echoes of these ancient realms whisper through the winds, if your spirit feels drawn to these forgotten paths, you are welcome to walk deeper. Subscribe, and let the journey continue. Beneath the slate-gray surface, a shadow moves, slow, immense, ancient. The whale does not chase the light. It carries it through silence deeper than time. the earth rises. A volcano, not roaring, not erupting, just standing, like it has always stood. Its flanks scarred with time, its slopes streaked with fire and snow. A monument to pressure, silence, and patience. Beneath it, a road cuts through wild green, not to conquer the mountain, but to learn how to wait beside it. The crater still breathes, smoke rising like memory from the spine of the earth, not erupting, just enduring, a wound that never closed and never needed to. begins in the sand, but not with footprints, with blueprints. Palm-shaped islands drawn into the sea, as if the desert reached out and planted itself into the ocean. Towers rise, not from stone, but from imagination. Steel, glass, light, stacked toward the sun in impossible symmetry. Here, water is commanded, gravity is bent, and what once was only a mirage stands. Dubai is not carved by wind, it is carved by will. And in the middle of sand and steel, the flowers arrived, not wild, but planted, with precision and excess. Millions of blooms, shaped into castles, hearts, trains, as if nature itself was redesigned to match the city's imagination. This is not how flowers grow, but in Dubai, even gardens are built. And when the sun falls, the city writes with light. Glass and water mirror each other, each glow a signature of ambition. In the quiet of night, Dubai does not sleep, it shines. the ocean stops pretending to be land and becomes what it always was: endless, weightless light. The Maldives. Islands so small they barely exist, except in sunlight, salt, and air. Palms lean into winds older than names. Bridges float not built, but placed. Here, nothing rushes. Even time moves like water. This is not survival. This is surrender. The land opens and keeps opening. Mongolia. Here, the sky is not above. It is around you. The wind moves in long, slow conversations across the steppe. Roads don't cut through. They barely leave a mark. The grass forgets where the tires passed. The river folds itself gently into valleys that have waited for centuries. Orkhon, Kovsgol, Altai, places older than memory, where herds still drift like clouds and distance is counted in songs. This is not wilderness. It is breath, endless and quiet. The land rolls like a quiet sea, green, endless, unbroken. Herds scatter like drifting clouds, each one part of the wind's slow rhythm. There are no fences here, only space and the soft breath of animals beneath the sky. Higher still, where mountains hold the last breath of winter, the earth thins. Homes scatter like whispers against the sky. Here, people live not above the world, but within its silence. We followed a direction, east. Oh, but what we found was not a line. It was a rhythm. The pulse of waves against forgotten shores. The breath of forests holding ancient light. The silence of deserts that still remember the sea. The fire beneath mountains that never rest. The endless sky above the steppes, wide enough to hold 1,000 lives at once. We crossed cities built from imagination, gardens sculpted by ambition, and islands so fragile they barely exist, except in sunlight and salt. The East was never ahead of us. It was beneath us, inside us, all along. Not a destination, a reflection. The journey never ends